Hey, it's great to have you here on Friday, and we're going to finally finish this devotion this week called How to Be Blessed by the Bible. This is the third and final principle today. We've talked about if you want to be blessed by the Bible, you've got to receive it, and then you've got to reflect upon it. And today we're going to talk about if you want to be blessed by the Bible, you've got to respond to it. It says in verse 22 and in verse 23 of James chapter 1, you need to be a doer of the word and not a hearer only. That's interesting. That word for hearer, the Greek word for hearer of the word, is actually a word through which we get our word auditor. An auditor. Now, when I went to Bible college, and you may have went to college somewhere where this is something that happens at your school, in the Bible college I attended, people could audit the classes. That really meant, in this small little Bible college I attended, that people could just come and sit in on the class. Usually they sat in the back and they just observed what was taking place in the class. They were able to be there for the entire class. They didn't get credit. They didn't take tests. They had no real responsibility. They didn't have to do any of the homework or the research. They just listened and watched what was taking place. They were auditing the class. Now, sadly, we've got a lot of auditors in our churches. People who aren't looking to get credit. They're not looking to take any of the tests. They don't want really any of the responsibilities. They don't have to do any of the research or homework. They're just sitting like fans in the stands, checking out what's going on. I want to hear what's being said, maybe what's not being said. I'm just auditing the class, Pastor Steve. I'm just auditing your church. People like that, and God bless them. All of our churches have them. God bless them. I'm glad they're there rather than be there than on the lake. So I'm glad they're there. But people who are just auditing the Word are not really going to be blessed by it. They've not just got to read it and review it. They're going to have to learn to react to it. They're going to have to learn to walk in what they have learned and to get an investment and a commitment to it. The folks at New Hope, they love me. I know that they do. And they might come to me and say, Pastor Steve, you're over 60 now, and we're a little worried about your health. You're getting a little flabby. We've noticed that. You're getting one of those furniture bodies where your chest is dropping down to your drawers. We've noticed that. And so we're very concerned, Pastor Steve, about your health. We'd like you to live to pastor the church a few more years. So we have all taken up an offering and we bought you a book. We bought you a book, Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding book. And we want you to take some time off, and we want you to pour your heart and life into that book. So I do. I take some time off, and I go and I'm gone for several months, and I come back, and the church says, well, my goodness, what did you do? I not only look the same, I might have even gained a few pounds. And they say, Pastor Steve, didn't you read that book? I said, oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I've even highlighted several portions of the book. I've taken it down and done it in analytical form. I think I can teach it. I'm going to teach that book in our church. I may do a Wednesday night class with it. I love it. I've divided it down and put it into sections in which I can teach. You see, the problem is knowing the etymology of every single word of that book. I could have spent hours studying it, which I did, but just having a knowledge of the bodybuilding book doesn't produce muscles. You say, well, Pastor Steve, what we meant for you to do was to do some of that stuff. Not just read about it. Not just know how to eat healthy and not just know how to exercise. We intended for you to do it. And I might say, oh, I get it now. Y'all wanted me to do what was in the book and not just read what was in the book. The same thing is true spiritually in our lives. Just reading the Bible and knowing the Bible backwards and forwards and knowing the name of Moses and all his kids and all the mountains they lived and died on, that is not going to change your life until you start doing what is in the book. It's not going to change anything. I heard about a guy who walked into church late, and he walked up to the usher and he said, "Hey, is the sermon done yet? Is the sermon done yet?" And the usher said, "Well, it's been preached, but it's yet to be done." It's been preached, but it's yet to be done. Be ye doers of the word, and not mere readers of the word. Put it in practice. Amen. God bless you, and I'll see you next week.